Thank you for tuning in to the best parenting show on the internet, Post Daily Dose.
It's the Post. It's the Post. It's the Post. The Post Daily Dose. It's the Post. It's the Post. It's the Post. The Post Daily Dose. It's the Post. It's the Post.
Hey, Facebook, Big Papa here. Welcome to another episode of Post Daily Dose, early edition. Got a little engagement going on this evening that's going to have me tied up at our usual time. So we're broadcasting just a tad bit early on this fine Saturday. So welcome. Thank you all for joining me for Post Daily Dose with your trusted parenting advisor, faithful guide, and servant on the healing journey. What's my name? Big Papa Brian+Post. Hope everyone has had a fantastic and relaxing Saturday. So in our Inside the Parenting Matrix training this morning, I talked about something. I gave an assignment, and it had to do with fun, and not only fun for the children, but fun for the parents, but the parents doing something that was taking care of them, and then also doing something that their children consider to be fun, but specifically doing what the children thought was fun, not engaging the parents into what the parents thought was fun. But I had something interesting come up with one of our families, is that they have a lot of children, and mom was really excited, got everything lined out, and then the kids got really stressed out. And so then mom got really stressed out. So we had to go kind of work through that process a little bit. And it made me think, a lot of times families on a Saturday, on a weekend, they think they want to do something fun. Let's go hang out. Let's go, let's not stress. Let's go to the mall. Let's go to the movie. Let's go get ice cream. Let's go do this. Let's go to the park, whatever. Let's go for a hike. And as parents, we are excited to take our children on an experience. So we want to, we want them to have a good time. And we perceive that because we're doing something out of the norm, and, it's not something they usually do, that they're going to have a great time. But here's what you forget with children who've experienced trauma. Children who've experienced trauma have trauma around transition. For many of these children, the first major transition in their life was birth. And typically that was traumatic. And that's not even taking into consideration the in utero period of time that these children have gone through. So their circadian rhythms get knocked off. Their suprachiasmatic nucleus doesn't help their regulation with transition as effectively as it should. And so transition becomes very stressful for these children, not to mention the children who've been in foster care and been in, placement after placement after placement. So the very idea of having to go somewhere in this particular child's brain, any child's brain that comes from this environment of transition and trauma and stress is stressful. Just the very idea, hey, we're going to go do something fun, is stressful. Hey, Peggy. So we think that we're going to go engage our children and have a good time. And then in fact, it becomes stressful for them. Well, here's the thing. I'll give you an example. My 26-year-old adopted son, Kevin, when he was first in our group home, anytime we'd get ready to go somewhere, and literally this was going across town, he would dilly-dally, dawdle around. That dawdling is usually what it's called. He'd dawdle around, take him a hard time to find his shoes and find his pants and find the right shirt, and then he'd have to stand in the mirror, and then he would want to pack a bag. We were going across town and back. He would want to pack a bag. He would want to pack his stereo system. He'd want to pack all this stuff. And it would take this long period of time. And finally, we realized that he was going through transition trauma. And this is a kid who basically had no family before he came to us. And so, probably never even had a bedroom for any prolonged period of time before he came to us. And so he would hoard a lot of stuff. And he would have a hard time leaving the house without taking his stuff with him, or as much as he possibly could. Why? Because in his brain and in his experience, he may not return to the home. So he's going to take all his stuff with him. And finally, when I figured that out, I just said to him, Kevin, I promise you we're going to come home. You will be coming back to your room. You will be coming back to all your stuff. No one is going to mess with your stuff. We'll even lock the door. so no one can come in the house while we're gone. But your house is not going anywhere. Your stuff's not going anywhere. You're going to have your bedroom. Everything's going to be okay. We're just going to go across town. We'll be back. You don't have to worry. And just saying that to him freed him up to where he could then participate in the chaos with the other boys of running to call shotgun, right? Because that's what teenage boys want to do. They all run right in front. So he was missing out on that big dynamic because he needed to fill up the back of the Suburban with all his stuff. And that's okay. And it's okay, you know, he packed that stuff around, and we let him pack the stuff around. You know, whenever he needed to pack it around, we'd let him. But otherwise, just saying to him, look, buddy, we'll be back, allowed him to transition enough in his brain to allow him to become a little more flexible enough that he could follow through. So a lot of times when you're thinking about, you know, doing something with your children, give them a little warning, give them a lot of warning if possible, because any transition, it doesn't matter what it is, activates the amygdala, which activates the other parts of the brain, which then could potentially put the child in survival. And if you don't go into that, thinking about that right up front, then it could create a lot of anxiety for you, and then what could potentially be a good day, because they just need to get through that 5 to 10 minute transition period. It's not going to last forever, but as a parent, you can get overwhelmed and really stressed about it. It's not going to last forever. They just need to get through that little transition period, and then you guys will be able to go and do, you know, what you had planned and have a good time. So keep that in mind. Transition trauma is a very big deal. That's why a lot of people still are late for meetings. They miss planes. They show up late to, you know, their own wedding and to funerals, because they've got drama and trauma around transition. So I hope that's helpful for you. Again, I want to invite all of you guys to, hey, LaJoy, I want to invite all you guys who's interested, if you're still struggling with your children, if you feel like you're still parenting within the matrix, which is 98% of families in America, but I know a lot of you who tune into Post Daily Dose are really working hard to get outside of the matrix. Enrollment is open. Just join us. parentingmatrix.com, theparentingmatrix.com, and come join us and get involved. Pick up with classes, start learning, start going through the classes, going through the courses, and get the support that you need that is going to help you break out of the matrix, because that is the goal. And with that, remember, in any given situation, we all have two choices. We can continue to react from our imprints of stress and fear and overwhelm, or we can stop, we can take 3 to 10 deep breaths, we can slow down. We can ask ourselves, what could we do different here that we haven't continued to been doing before? And in that, we can choose love. God bless you. Big Papa loves you. Have a fantastic Saturday night. Do something enjoyable. Do something calm. Do something peaceful. Try not to create too much stress. But remember, give your children time to transition. God bless. We'll see you tomorrow.